Hi class, my name is Nolan Yokogawa and I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about Naruto. So Naruto was written and illustrated by Masashi Kishimoto. If we look here on the second slide, he's up here on the top right corner. He first published the first manga in 1999. The manga ended up having over more than 700 chapters. The first anime episode aired in 2002, just 3 years after the manga debuted, and went on till 2017 and had over 500 episodes. The show is called Naruto, which is named after the main character, Naruto Uzumaki. So one thing to note is that there are two shows for Naruto. There's Naruto, where it just says Naruto, and it focuses on when Naruto is a 12-year-old boy. And the second show is Naruto Shippuden, which focuses on Naruto when he's 15 years old. I will be talking about both of these shows since it shows how important Naruto develops as he gets older. Look on the next slide here. We have just pictures of the poster and the manga. So on the left right here is just a snippet of the manga, the first page of the manga. The first manga. In the middle right here is a picture of the anime, the poster for the anime, the Naruto, the first show. And the third picture right here is this poster for the second show, Naruto Shippuden, when Naruto is 15 years old. Next, we'll go on to the summary. Basically, the show is set in a ninja world, so everybody wants to be a ninja. Everybody lives in ninja villages, and so these villages are fighting for power. There's a lot of war and conflict between these villages. Naruto, our main character, is an orphan boy. He mainly wants to impress his peers and become the leader of his village, which is called the Hokage. Naruto finds himself at the center of all this conflict and must peacefully resolve this cycle of war that has been created by the villages as they keep fighting. Our main character, Naruto Uzumaki, as I said earlier, he's an orphan. He lost both of his parents on the day he was born. A demon had attacked their village, and the demon ended up getting sealed inside of Naruto. Because the demon was sealed inside of him, the villagers saw it as like a sign of bad luck or a bad omen, and so they would all avoid him. Adults, everybody would avoid him, all the kids. He would try very hard in school, but he wasn't that good. He had to resort to being a class clown in order to gain attention, since he lived by himself and would not receive attention any other ways. So acting out was the only way he would receive attention. It isn't until he's put on a ninja squad with two other students and makes some more friends and makes good friends with the teacher that he becomes a little bit more developed, and he's able to establish a lot more real relationships than he was able to in the past. Next, peer groups. So peer groups are really important in this show. Again, not one of Naruto's main motivation is trying to impress his friends and gaining the recognition of his fellow peers. Two main peers that stick out are going to be the two other members of his ninja squad, Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. So Sasuke is also an orphan that Naruto tried to befriend, but they end up developing intense rivalry instead. Sakura is the girl of the group. She likes Sasuke. Naruto likes Sakura. Sakura doesn't like Naruto. It's a bit of a mess, but he's able to learn how to react with a friend that is a female with her. And then he has other friends that are also in his training class that he enjoys to hang out with as well and have fun. Next, for some evidence, peer groups. As I said earlier, when they get to the age of 12, they're divided into groups of 3, and they have to spend a lot of time training, going on missions, eating, spending a lot of time together. And so for Naruto, that's something completely new, since as a kid he would just act out, goof around, cause trouble for everybody, and he would just be by himself. whereas now he's in a group, he's in a bit of an organized environment. He has a sensei to teach him and guide him, so it's a lot different than what he has experienced previously. If we look here at the picture on the right, they're here in the school. In the next picture, they're at a graduation, and everybody's parents are there, but Naruto is by himself. The next context is family. Family also plays a big role in this show. Again, Naruto grew up an orphan. He had no supervision, no parents, nobody was really guarding him. He received funds from the village, but it's not like there was any caretaker for him. And again, it wasn't until he joins the Ninja Academy where he meets a teacher who is kind of like the older brother / father figure for him. That would be his first real relationship with Aruka Sensei. He definitely guided him, and Aruka had a similar struggle with Naruto, as he also grew up an orphan, and so he was able to help relate and try and guide him on the right path. Some examples of evidence right here in the next slide. Here's a picture from the manga with Aruka and Naruto eating some ramen together, which happens to be Naruto's favorite meal. Next slide. Probably one of the other most important and compelling parts of the story is Naruto's best friend, Sasuke Uchiha. The family that Sasuke comes from is one of the strongest in the village. They're very deadly. They are known for their visual prowess, or they have special eyes that make them really strong. But they are known for choosing violence first over peace and communication, which was the main kind of role of the village, and so they were kind of against that. This ultimately cost their people their lives, and Sasuke ends up being the lone survivor. But we see as Sasuke as a child how the influences of his family and his father and his brother have had a big impact on him, and show how much different he is from Naruto and the rest of his classmates. He's a lot darker, a lot colder to everybody, and it shows how different families can be created in the village. The next focus is psychosocial development, achievement. Achievement really helps Naruto out. In Naruto's village, people gain respect by accomplishing missions or saving people. When he's younger, when he's a kid, he's at the Ninja Academy. He doesn't get the opportunity to be able to showcase his abilities. But as he gets older, he goes on missions, he begins to build a reputation. He's not perfect, but he trains really hard and works hard. He eventually started building successes, and as he becomes more successful and does more accomplishments, people begin to like him more, and they gravitate towards him and respect him a lot more. So next, for some examples of that, right here, again, at the beginning of the show, right, his goal is to become the Hokage, or leader of the village, and just through hard work, always never giving up, and trying his best, he's able to eventually become the strongest ninja when he's older and become the leader of his village. And in the next slide, we see Naruto being celebrated by the village. This is after he just pulled off a huge victory and saved everybody's lives. Again, at the start of the show, Naruto had a very simple goal: to prove all the people that doubted him wrong and lead the village. It's those little successes that help build him up and become a much better human being and a much better leader, and they help develop him to becoming the Hokage of his village. So, in the next slide, the resolution, Naruto comes off kind of as one-dimensional in the beginning, but as the show kind of progresses and we start meeting real antagonists, we see that it quickly separates itself from a lot of other shows doing similar things. More specifically with the cycle of hatred, Naruto tries to break this cycle, and basically the cycle is like revenge in a way. If your friend gets hurt, you want to avenge your friend or stick up for him, so you go after whoever hurt them, and then they want to now go after you because you hurt their friend, and it's kind of this big back and forth domino effect. And so Naruto's goal is to try to break that and to stop all wars. In the next slide, we talk about how the antagonists come from similar types of life that Naruto has. They've had dealt with a lot of traumatic events, but with Naruto being able to talk to them and reason with them and connect with them because of having gone through similar experiences, he's able to make them understand his point of view through peace and not through fighting, that they can have peaceful resolution and end the cycle of hatred. So is Naruto a typical adolescent? He has a lot of qualities of being a typical adolescent, but in the end, I would have to say no, he's not your typical adolescent. Mainly with just a lot of the extremes in the show. First off, obviously, he receives a lot more autonomy than most of his peers and anybody else would, really. As he's growing up again, he didn't have a caretaker or really anybody to watch out for him. So he's out by himself making decisions, buying whatever he needs and all that stuff. You're not going to see that in the States, especially because, we have orphanages and there are caretakers there. So you're not going to see that. Naruto is interested in girls, but due to the line of work that he is in, relationships are kind of hard to focus on, hard to determine and hard to navigate, especially at such a young age, when your life it could be on the line, and if you make the wrong decision, it could cost you your life or perhaps your loved one. Obviously, and then he wants to be recognized by his peers, but he always is finding himself on the outside, looking in. And of course, due to the demon sealed inside of him, he is treated different by all members of society, which I believe that nobody really can relate to. Okay, so that's kind of it for the presentation. Thank you guys for listening.